everyone, welcome to Shutter and Voyages. I am Aditi, and the guest today we have with us doesn't need any introduction. One of the best travel bloggers of our country. Welcome Archana Singh. Welcome Archana.
Hi Aditi, how are you?
Okay, I'm good.
Very well. I think great minds think alike, right? Either
Exactly.
great or fools, right?
All right, Archana. So, tell me, who is Archana? Like a backpacker, a traveler, a brand strategist. Who is Archana?
I would say probably a traveler who likes to explore unexplored places in the search of untold human stories, and like an actor dolls different avatars or different characters. Similarly, whatever the need is there, suppose if I'm traveling in the nooks and corners of India where luxury travel is not possible, then I become a backpacker. But say suppose if I'm traveling to solve some business need, then I become a business traveler. Or sometimes I just become a solo traveler. And whenever any brand or any, I would say, organization needs any help, so I become a brand strategist. So I would say, in nutshell, it's like a girl who likes to travel, and it doesn't matter how I travel. So, yeah.
So you just told that you have an inclination towards offbeat places, the places which have not been explored before. Why that? Do you also have an inclination towards the cliche and the conventional places people visit all the time?
See, I'll tell you what, when I gave up my job, I was doing very well. I had an expat life and I was earning pretty well. So when I gave up that cushy life, then it was clearly my second innings. I wanted to, I actually gave it a long thought of what is it that I want. So travel, if you look at it, the popular destinations are already popular. They probably don't need that much of support or push from content creators as an offbeat place would be, because what happens is when you promote a offbeat place in a responsible way, you tend to generate employment for a lot of people out there, a lot of locals there, and you promote the whole area. So that's why I thought, and also second reason was that if I would have promoted the already popular destinations, I would have been one of the many.
Right.
So it was one of the reason for me to establish my USP. And I thought, this is it. And I come from a marketing background, more of a brand strategy background, where we were always taught that you have to figure out the USP, which is your unique selling proposition. So in my case, it was about the offbeat places. So even if I visit popular places, like for example, even if I explore Delhi, I would try and explore a part which is still unexplored, where people have still not visited. Okay. So that's what, travel has always attracted me to.
Okay. So, what was the age when you knew, yeah, okay, right, now I have to travel? What was the age? Where was your first trip to? And how was the experience?
It's a very difficult question to remember because I would say I've been traveling since I was in the womb of my mother, because I come from an army background, and when you are an army kid, automatically you keep traveling. Like, I don't even remember when I took my big trip, but every weekend we used to be out, exploring the nearby places. And because of being in army, we had a transferable job. So we traveled a lot. And then after that, when I went to college, so I have been a hostel kid. So I was the one who used to plan all the trips during the college days and even in my post-graduation. So I really can't remember what was one big travel.
Okay, the one solo trip you took.
Okay, solo trip, I would say, not first, I wouldn't recall the first solo trip, but I do recall my first international trip. Okay. So it was my first solo trip out of India, and it's been, I think, more than 15-20 years when I went there. So I was a bundle of nerves because I'd never explored before, but it was really wonderful. I explored UK first and then Europe, and I was there for a month, and I did the entire UK from north to south, east to west. So that was a wonderful trip some 20 years back, yeah.
Okay. And how do you manage your expenses, the travel expenses? And people think that only a person born with a silver spoon or someone who is earning a lot of money can travel. So how do you manage all this after leaving your job?
Okay, there's a bit of truth also there, because see what happens, I'm not in favor of the guys who say, go, leave your job, travel the world. No. please don't do that. That sounds very exciting. You might want to leave your job if you're in your job, but please don't do that. What you can do is you start small, start exploring the nearby places. Like even when I started traveling by myself, I was doing it with my job full time. So I started taking weekend trips. I started taking these small trips, 3-4 days, or collecting my leaves. Like I would never do anything. I would save up my leaves and always travel. So I explored the whole of Himachal, the Uttarakhand, Rajasthan, and all that. So first I explored my country, and then I went abroad. And thankfully, even my job which I had the luxury of exploring the whole of Asia, and there were some trips which came with that job. But yes, now when it's been like now it will be like 3 years that I've left my job. So when I left my job, I knew that there's gonna be zero earning which I'm gonna get. So I had gathered a corpus for at least which could sustain me for 5 years.
Okay.
And because I didn't want to make any compromises, when I was starting. So there was a kind of a plan which I had put on paper that, okay, these are the countries, these are the conferences, this is the kind of content I want to develop. And then I left it. I reduced my expenses. Like now I hardly spend on clothes, I hardly spend on eating out, so all the peripherals, I would say, which don't give me the actual happiness, I've cut down on them. But I spend on experiences, which is about traveling. And then when I travel, I try to minimize. Like instead of having a meal in a fancy hotel, I would rather try a small eatery or a small roadside place in a country. And instead of carrying all the things with me, I would eat local food. So there are a number of ways by which you can save money. And then now traveling has also started paying. Not this year though.
Okay. Okay, so how has COVID affected you? Like, what were you doing during the pandemic? You must be sitting at home like everyone. So, what were you doing? How did you pass that time?
Frankly, when it began, I had no idea what has struck. And we all thought, okay, it's gonna get over. So the year started with a bang. For the first 2 months, I was traveling around. So whether it was in Southeast Asia or in Asia, like Maldives, or like in Europe, Switzerland, Netherlands, I was traveling like everywhere. And there were already murmurs going on that what if this becomes a pandemic? And I was saying, yeah, come on, nothing is going to happen. And my travel plans were booked until October, like chock-a-block. Everything was kind of chock-a-block. And there were some great campaigns that I was doing. And they were like some of the biggest organizations one could ever dream of. So suddenly it just went like this. I just didn't I just
Did.
couldn't comprehend like what is this which has happened.
Yeah.
But so initially it was like I would get I would have this angst, like what am I doing, I would probably be in my bed the whole day, would not talk. But then I started enjoying that period. In fact, lockdown actually gave a lot of free time to look inwards. I started doing things which I never did. For example, simple chores like cleaning your house. I would never do that. I started enjoying that. Or cooking, that was something I loved. And then I started creating content which is more on the sustainability side and looking for stories which needs our attention more. So yeah, it was good, and planning what do I want to do next. Yeah.
So you have talked a lot about sustainability, ecotourism. What is your basic vision about it, and what are the tips or ideas you want to give to our audience, like how to promote sustainability while traveling? Yeah.
I'm a huge fan of David Attenborough, and if you see his documentaries, he has always emphasized on one thing, that this is our only chance to save this planet, or rather not this planet, because this planet will survive with or without us.
Correct.
Right? It is us. So this is our chance for us to save ourselves, because what happens, जैसे एक होता है ना, वो अब ये planet कोई बीरबल की खिचड़ी तो है नहीं जिसमें कि आप निकालते जाओ वो ख़त्म नहीं होगा. The resources are limited. One day they're gonna end. So what will happen? So, that's why I feel that, traveling sustainably or living sustainably is the only way we have to survive. want to leave this planet more sustainable than what I got. And that is why, I have made certain changes in my lifestyle. That is why the way I travel, the way I live, there have been small, small things. And that's why, whatever I experience, I tend to share it with the people, because the more we talk, the more we do, more people are going to join this movement.
Okay. So, talking from your experience, like you have traveled to more than 60 plus countries and you have explored India as well. There are a lot of myths around traveling, lot of superstitions, and the biggest there is the world is not safe.
Oh yeah.
And especially for women. So, what is your take on this?
I still remember there used to be times when people used to say, oh, you are a single girl, why are you traveling single? Exactly. I still remember I was in, I think, Philippines, and a guy walks up to me and we start talking, and he came across as a nice person. And then he suddenly says, do you have a boyfriend? I got a little intimidated. Why is he asking for a boyfriend? I said, no. Then he says, do you have a father? I said, of course. I said, but why are you asking me these silly questions? Yeah. He said, because if you have a father, why are you traveling solo, And I was like, come on, not in this country. So, everywhere people feel that if you are a girl and if you're traveling solo, there's some problem with you. No, that is not. And in fact, when you go outside, I've realized one thing, that people would rather help you than hurt you. And the world is not as, I would say, fearful or as nasty as it is made out to be. People are really nice. Being a solo traveler, I have found people most generous, like whether it is in Japan, where they went out of their way to make me feel at home, or the Tatras in Slovakia, everywhere people have been just wonderful, if you're traveling solo. And they are not there to just fleece money out of you. They want you to have the best experience.
And what other myths do you think there are, like the superstitions?
Okay, one thing is that, which you mentioned earlier, that, traveling is only for the rich guys. No. If probably luxury travel could be for the rich guys, but traveling is for anyone. All you need is proper planning. If you plan well ahead in time, and if you are ready to reduce your expenses, you can travel anywhere. Then other thing is, people tend to travel in peak seasons. I would say off season is the best time to travel, and a destination behaves in a very different way. For example, Delhi would be very different in winters versus what it will be in summers versus some other months. So, it totally depends upon you, what are your interests that you can, and we in India, we tend to think that international is beautiful, but our own country is so beautiful, where we have got everything, whether it's mountains, wildlife, desert. India is extremely beautiful. Then couple of things I'll tell you, which is more to do with the international, like when I visited Slovakia, so I won't say myth, but probably the perception which I had was that it's going to be like Czech, because it was a Czechoslovakia. There's going to be a lot of castles, people are going to be very moody, very cold. But I was completely floored. I loved the country so much that it's become one of my favorite country, and I've already visited 4 times. I was supposed to go 5th time this year. Okay. So I think, and other thing I would say, the last, and we can get over to the next question, is, people tend to think that people outside of India, they're very different. Actually, people everywhere are kind of same. They have the same motivations. Everyone craves for love, happiness, trust, all that thing. It is just that how they express, or what food we might look different, we might eat different foods, but we are same from inside.
Correct. Okay. All right. And one more thing I would like to know, like you have mentioned, do not leave your job unless you have a certain amount of savings with you or a corpus with you. How to manage traveling with a job? How to manage content creation, basically?
See, as I mentioned before, what happens is you can easily do it with your job. I did it 4 years with my job. So instead of going on your regular dinners or brunches, like definitely do them once in a while, but you can take a 2-day trip. For example, if you're living in Delhi, what is stopping you from going to nearby places like Neemrana, or even like Binsar, or any other small places? Like there are so many places that you can explore, whether it's Chel, or small places that you can explore, or within your own city you can create content. For example, I have started doing it, especially in winters. Every weekend I explore the parks of Delhi. So sometimes it is Lodi Garden, sometimes it is Qutub Minar, sometimes it's Nehru Park, sometimes it's like even a small park, and then you create content, share it, because see, there are so many places which people would have not shown. Like you and me, we can't travel out of Delhi all the time, but
Right.
we can definitely go out in Delhi and explore. Like what would be a place which serves the best idli dosa, or which
Right.
serves the best biryani, or which serves or which has the best music scene. So it's all about exploration. It's all about having the eyes of an explorer, I would say.
Okay, that's very nice. Okay, so Archana, tell me one thing. Why the name Travel See Right?
When I started with my blog and I was thinking what name should I give. So I was thinking a lot, on different themes. Then I thought that what is it? What is it that I will be doing? So I said it's very simple. I will be traveling to different places. I'll be seeing different things, and I'll be writing. That time writing, okay, because I'm essentially a writer now. I
Right.
create videos and other stuff also. So that's how the name came, and it's very simple. It's easy to remember. It's catchy. So yeah, that's how Travel See Right came in. So I don't write or recommend anything unless and until I've experienced myself.
Okay. So I'm sure every experience you have had till now must be very fruitful for you. Must have learned new things. But which one is the best experience you have ever had? In Delhi or international?
It's very difficult to say that, and
The
it's
most
like,
memorable one, maybe.
that's again very difficult. It's like asking a mother out of all the kids which one is your favorite. But I'll tell you an incident which I never thought would be possible. So 2 years back, I was traveling to Serbia. Serbia, why I wanted to visit Serbia was because it is the country of my idol, Novak Djokovic. Like I've been following him since he came on the international scene. So I wanted to visit that country. I was on a 4-month tour of Europe, and Serbia was among the last few countries that I was visiting. I had explored Croatia, Montenegro that time, and I was going to Serbia. And Serbia is not a part of European Union.
Yeah.
So because of which it doesn't enjoy a lot of perks as the other countries
Right.
would have. For example, you need to have a different number, then even the currency is different and all other thing. And it's also not so safe, and the border is not as porous as the rest of it. So because of that, there are a lot of problems which the country face, and I'd read about it. But me being James Bond, I said, अरे यार मैं इतना ट्रैवल करती हूँ दुनिया में, मैं सारी दुनिया देखी हुई है, क्या है कुछ नहीं. तो मैंने पढ़ा था रात में कि जो ट्रेन जर्नी है from, I was taking the night train from Croatia to Serbia. It's not safe.
Okay.
That's what I said, ठीक है मैं देख लूँगी, मैं नहीं सोऊंगी. And almost the entire night I did not sleep. I was carrying a lot of currency that time, me being stupid. Uske baad I've learned that never carry cash, at least not that much cash. So I was carrying, and my laptop and stuff, everything was there. And I must have dozed off for like 5-10 minutes. And when I woke up, everything was in place. Nothing seemed off. So next day morning, my train reaches Belgrade, and I take the bus, the local bus, to my hotel. And when I had to give him the money, I opened my wallet, and there's not even a single penny.
my God.
Nothing at all. And I was like, what? I said, maybe I'm still sleepy, maybe I haven't slept, and that's why I'm just hallucinating. That's not possible. And there was nothing. And the bus driver, he didn't know English. He didn't understand. And I was like, what am I supposed to do? I've just landed in this country.
I would have cried.
Yeah, and I also cried. That's the best thing for girls, right? When nothing goes in their fare, tears always cry.
Okay.
So poor bus driver, he got scared. He didn't know. He said, no, it's okay. And he dropped me. And then I reached the hotel, and I just booked 2 nights, one night or 2 nights at the hotel. The lady wouldn't let me check in. She said the check-in time is at 3:30, and I was already there at 7:30. I said, what am I going to do? I've lost everything. I've got nothing. So there was one lady called Boina. She was sitting in the lobby area. She saw me and she asked me what happened. So I told her this is what has happened. She said, don't worry, you are our guest. I'm really sorry that this has happened to you, but now you are my responsibility. I will make sure that you carry a positive response from our country, a positive memories, I would say, from our country. And she took such good care of me. I cannot tell you. Or with the help of tourism board, she organized trip for me in eastern Serbia and western Serbia, and I had the most memorable trips ever. So one thing which I learned from that trip is, in life, when you feel that you're at the rock bottom, sometimes that could be a springboard. There's only one way, that's to go high.
Correct,
So, yeah.
right. So, okay, Archana, just some take home notes for the audience, for the aspiring travelers, for content creators, and especially to the girls, including me, to how to cut the expenses for makeup and clothes.
Okay. Okay, see, I'll tell you what happens is, the most impressive thing about anybody could be the knowledge. Like, nobody can take the knowledge away from you.
Right.
And all the clothes, the makeup brands and everything, they try to make us fit in. Whereas we were all created to stand out. So, uh, take time to think about what really gives you happiness. In my case, it was travel. Maybe in your case, it could be lifestyle. In his case, it could be about, cooking or something. So first of all, you need to spend time with yourself, not follow others, what they're doing. And then, spend time in, okay, if you have chosen the field, what is it that you're going to focus on? Because until and unless you have a unique voice, there are so many other people, right? Why would anybody give you 5 minutes from their life until and unless you stand for something? And persistence. I would say there is nothing like persistence. Nothing comes easy. You have to keep trying and trying and trying, Beatles didn't become Beatles, by singing one song.
Correct.
They kept practicing and practicing. So never give up. And it requires a lot of sacrifices also. That I can tell you. So nothing comes easy. There are no free lunches in the world. So be prepared for that.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Okay. All right, Archana, just some rapid fire questions with you. The shortest answer possible, all right? Your USP.
My USP, untold human stories from offbeat places.
Okay. Favorite mode of transportation?
Walking. My
Walking.
feet.
Favorite airlines?
Oh, very, very difficult question. It's very, because I traveled a lot locally, so I would say Indigo at the moment.
Okay. Are you a mountain person or a beach person?
I would say both. It depends on the mood, but if I were to pick one, mountains.
Favorite country?
Too difficult. I would say Japan.
Okay. Favorite beach?
Oh, I wouldn't say one. I would say country, Philippines.
Philippines.
I think nothing is better than the beaches in Philippines, and that too Palawan specifically. Yeah.
If you could carry 3 people in your bag, who will they be?
I like to travel light, so I would not carry any person. I would carry the photography gadgets in my bag. Yeah.
Okay. And if you could exchange your travel bag with somebody, who will it be?
I would say Paul Nicolin, because he's an Nat Geo photographer, and some of the work that he's been doing on Antarctica and the species which are vulnerable, I would love to see what kind of gadgets he takes, what is it that gives him inspiration. So yeah, definitely him.
All right, Archana, thank you so much for joining us. It was a pleasure talking to you.
Completely my pleasure. I had a great time.
Thank you so much for joining us.